in the shadow of a dusty diner where broken men sought solace and black coffee, a tiny boy with bruises like thunderclouds walked in and changed a Hell's Angel's life forever. It was a foggy dawn in a forgotten corner of Albuquerque, where the desert met the highway like an old scar on weathered skin. The diner, called Rusty's Pit Stop, sat squat and unassuming under a sky heavy with unspoken rain. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of overcooked eggs, grease from the griddle, and that eternal drip of coffee from a pot that had seen better days. A couple of long-haul drivers hunched over their plates, forks scraping porcelain in rhythmic silence. The cook, a grizzled vet named Earl, flipped pancakes with the precision of a man who'd survived wars both abroad and at home. And in the far booth, nursing a black coffee that steamed like his simmering thoughts, sat Harlan Iron Fist Kane, a towering figure at 6'4", his frame built like a fortress from years on the road with the Hells Angels. His leather vest, patched with skulls, flames, and the infamous Death's Head insignia, hung heavy on his broad shoulders. Scars crisscrossed his knuckles, souvenirs from bar brawls and brotherhood oaths, but his eyes, steel gray and unyielding, held the weight of regrets he'd never voice. Harlan wasn't the type to seek out drama. He'd ridden through enough storms, literal and figurative, to appreciate the quiet hum of a diner at daybreak. Life on the bike had taught him that freedom came with a price, and peace was a fleeting visitor. He stirred his coffee slowly, the spoon clinking against the mug like a distant memory. But before we dive deeper into this tale of unexpected heroism, if you believe in the raw power of compassion, in redemption forged in fire, and in protecting the innocent no matter the cost, then hit that like button. Share this story with a friend who needs a reminder that good still exists. Subscribe to our channel for more heart-stirring narratives, and drop a comment letting us know where you're tuning in from. Because what unfolds next is a testament to how one moment can rewrite destinies. The door's bell tinkled, a soft, almost hesitant chime that cut through the morning haze. In shuffled a boy, no older than 7, his sneakers scuffed and too big for his feet, dragging on the linoleum floor. He was bundled in a faded hoodie that swallowed his slight frame, his face pale as moonlight, with shadows under his eyes that spoke of nights without rest. The waitress, a kind-eyed woman named Rita with a name tag pinned crookedly to her apron, paused mid-pour and tilted her head. "Hey there, sweetie. You lost? Where's your mama or daddy?" The boy didn't respond. His gaze darted around the room like a cornered animal, taking in the truckers, the counter, the flickering neon open sign. Then, as if drawn by some invisible thread, his eyes landed on Harlan. Maybe it was the biker's solitary aura, the way he sat like a mountain unmoved by winds, or perhaps the faint hint of understanding in those hardened features. Whatever it was, the boy's feet carried him forward, step by trembling step, until he stood beside the booth. Harlan looked up, his brow furrowing beneath a bandana tied low over his forehead. The boy stared back, silent, his lower lip quivering just enough to betray the storm inside. Time stretched thin in that moment, the diner's hum fading to a whisper. Then, with a courage that belied his age, the child pushed up his sleeve of his hoodie. There, on his skinny arm, bloomed a map of bruises, deep violet and angry red, fingerprints etched into flesh like cruel brands. Fresh welts, some yellowing at the edges, told a story of repeated torment. The room went still. One trucker froze with his fork halfway to his mouth. Rita gasped softly, her hand flying to her chest. Harlan's grip on his mug tightened, the coffee sloshing slightly, but he didn't drink. He couldn't. The steam curled upward, ignored, as a fire ignited in his chest, a rage he'd long buried under layers of club loyalty and self-imposed exile. He'd seen bruises like that before, on his own skin as a kid, courtesy of a father who drowned his failures in whiskey and fists. That cycle nearly claimed Harlan too, until the angels pulled him from the abyss, teaching him that strength wasn't in violence, but in protection. He set the mug down with deliberate care, the clink echoing like a gavel. Rising to his full height, he loomed over the boy, but there was no threat in his posture, only a quiet intensity. "Kid," he rumbled, his voice gravelly from years of shouting over engines, "who put those marks on you?" The boy's eyes welled, but he held Harlan's gaze. His voice was a whisper, fragile as glass. "My stepdad. He gets mad when I cry." That word, stepdad, landed like a thunderclap. Harlan's jaw clenched, memories flooding back. His own childhood home, the smell of stale beer, the sound of belts whistling through air. He'd broken free, joined the Angels, found a family in the roar of Harleys and the code of brotherhood. But seeing this mirror of his past cracked something deep within him. He knelt down, bringing himself level with the boy, his massive frame folding like a guardian statue coming to life. "What's your name, son?" "Tommy," the boy murmured, wiping his nose on his sleeve. "Tommy," Harlan repeated, the name softening his edges. "You don't have to go back there. Not today, not ever, if I can help it." He glanced at Rita, who nodded steadily, already reaching for the phone behind the counter. Harlan pulled a wad of bills from his pocket, tips from odd jobs on the road, and slapped them on the table. "Call the cops if a guy comes sniffing around for a kid. Tell them to talk to me." Rita's eyes shimmered. "You got it, Harlan. Be careful." Without another word, Harlan extended his hand, rough, calloused, inked with faded tattoos of eagles and chains. Tommy hesitated, glancing back at the door as if expecting his tormentor to burst through. But then, with a courage that belied his age, the small hand slipped into the biker's. It felt like holding a bird, fragile, ready to fly away. Outside, the fog was lifting, revealing Harlan's beast of a bike, a black Harley-Davidson Fat Boy, chrome pipes gleaming, saddlebags packed with the essentials of a nomad life. He lifted Tommy onto the seat, wrapping him in an oversized leather jacket from the bags. "Hold on tight, kid. We're going to ride." The engine growled to life, a deep primal rumble that vibrated through their bones. Tommy's arms wrapped around Harlan's waist, his face pressed against the vest's patches. As they peeled out onto the highway, the wind whipped past, carrying away the diner's stale air and replacing it with the fresh bite of desert morning. Miles blurred, cacti standing sentinel, endless asphalt stretching towards the horizon, and the sun breaking through clouds like a promise. Harlan didn't have a plan yet, just away from the bruises, the fear, the cycle that had nearly destroyed him. They rode for hours, stopping only at a gas station for water and snacks. Tommy devoured a candy bar, his first real smile peeking through chocolate-smeared lips. "This is fast," he said, eyes wide, "like flying." Harlan chuckled, a rare sound. Faster than trouble, that's for sure. But as the boy chattered about school and his lost mom, who'd passed from illness 2 years back, Harlan's mind raced. He couldn't keep Tommy on the run forever. The law would catch up, or worse, the stepdad. No, this needed handling the Angels' way, direct, unyielding, with the weight of the club behind it. By midday, they crested a ridge into a dusty valley where an old warehouse turned clubhouse hunkered amid scrub brush and rusted fences. The Hells Angels emblem flew high on a flagpole, flapping in the breeze. Bikes lined the lot, dozens of them, gleaming under the sun. As Harlan killed the engine, heads turned. Rough men in cuts and bandanas emerged, arms crossed, curiosity etched on their faces. "Harlan, who's the squirt?" growled Big Mike, a bear of a man with a beard down to his belt. Harlan dismounted, lifting Tommy down gently. "This is Tommy. He's under our protection now." He recounted the story in clipped tones, showing the bruises without fanfare. The men's expressions shifted from confusion to fury, jaws tightening, fists clenching. The Angels had their code, Ride free, live hard, but kids? Kids were off limits. They'd all seen too much ugliness to let it slide. They ushered Tommy inside the clubhouse, a dimly lit haven of pool cables, beer fridges, and walls plastered with ride photos and memorabilia. Someone fetched a blanket and hot cocoa. Another fired up the wood stove. Tommy sat wide-eyed, clutching a stuffed angel one of the prospects handed him. "You guys are like pirates," he whispered. "Nah," Harlan replied, ruffling his hair. "Pirates steal. We protect our own." As night fell, around a crackling fire pit outside, Tommy opened up more. His real dad had left years ago. His mom remarried a guy named Ray who worked construction and drank away his paychecks. The beating started small, slaps for spilled milk, then escalated after Mom's death. "He says I'm weak," Tommy said, staring into the flames. "Like her." The circle of bikers listened in stony silence. Harlan's brothers, men who'd faced down rivals, cops, and their own demons, felt a collective resolve harden. "We handle this," said Viper, a lean ex-Marine with snake tattoos coiling up his arms. "Family business." The next morning, after Tommy had slept soundly for the first time in months, the plan formed. Harlan left him with a trusted old lady named Maria, who ran a safe house for the club's extended family. "I'll be back, kid. Promise." 20 bikes thundered down the interstate, a black-clad convoy that turned heads and cleared lanes. They rolled into Tommy's neighborhood, a rundown suburb of cracked sidewalks and peeling paint. Neighbors gawped from porches as the Harleys lined the street like a steel barricade. Ray's truck sat in the driveway, rusty and dented. The front door creaked open, and out stepped Ray, a burly man in his 40s, reeking of hangover sweat, his eyes bloodshot and widening at the sight. "What the hell is this?" Harlan strode forward, the others fanning out behind him, engines idling like growls. He didn't raise a fist, didn't draw a weapon. He just stopped inches away, towering, his voice a low thunder. "You know why we're here, Ray. Tommy showed me what you've been doing. The bruises, the fear." Ray's face paled, his bravado crumbling. "That kid's a liar. I disciplined him, that's all. None of your business." "It's our business now," Harlan said, his eyes boring into Ray's. "You touch him again. Hell, you even think about it, and you won't see us coming next time. We'll make sure you lose everything, your job, your house, your freedom. And if the cops don't handle it, we will." The air crackled with unspoken threats, the bikers' stares like daggers. Ray backed up, stumbling over the threshold. He muttered curses but didn't fight. Sometimes the roar of unity was enough to shatter a bully's spine. The angels revved their engines in unison, a deafening warning, then peeled away, leaving dust and dread in their wake. Back at the clubhouse, Tommy awaited, his face lighting up at Harlan's return. "Did you see him? Is it over?" Harlan nodded, kneeling again. "It's over, Tommy. You're safe." In the weeks that followed, the club rallied. They contacted social services through back channels, ensuring Tommy wasn't tossed into the system blindly. Maria and her husband, childless after years of trying, stepped up to foster him. The boy thrived, learning to fix bikes in the garage, racing dirt tracks on a mini quad the prospects rigged up, earning the nickname Little Thunder for his fearless spirit. Laughter returned to his eyes, bruises fading to memories. Harlan visited often, teaching him to ride, sharing stories of the road, not the violence, but the freedom, the bonds. "Life's gonna throw punches, kid, but you stand tall, surround yourself with good people, and punch back with heart." The day Tommy moved in with Maria permanently, he clung to Harlan's leg. "You're like a superhero," he said, tears streaking his cheeks. Harlan swallowed hard, his own eyes misting, a vulnerability he rarely showed. Nah, little Thunder, I'm just a guy who didn't finish his coffee. He ruffled his hair, slipped a tiny Hell's Angels keychain into his pocket, a symbol of protection, and rode off, the Harley's rumble fading into the sunset. Years rolled by like miles on an odometer. Tommy grew into Thomas, a young man with a degree in counseling, dedicating his life to abused kids. He married, had a family, built a home filled with love. But every year, on the anniversary of that foggy morning, a lone Harley would park outside his office. No rider in sight, just a small polished toy motorcycle left on his desk, gleaming like a beacon. No note needed. Thomas knew. His angel in leather still rode the winds, watching over him. If this story stirred something in your soul, reminding you that heroes wear vests, not capes, please like this video, share it with those who need hope, subscribe for more tales of unsung guardians, and comment below. Have you ever been saved by an unlikely stranger? Because in a world of shadows, sometimes the light comes thundering in on two wheels.